Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday night, 10/24/2023, October 24th. Woo. Anyways, we got a great show for you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. Sorry, I have to do that. It's aggravating me. Yeah, we got a great show for you all tonight. A lot of things going on out there in the world, and we're gonna discuss them the best to our knowledge and make sure that everything that we say to you folks out there is legit, as close as possible. So let me bring on the boys, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, Mr. B, no, Mr. D, Mr. D, Mr. B, Mr. B, Mr. D. What's up, Mr. D? What's happening, sir?
Good, Blaze, and yourself? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Let's bring on Donnie boy. Hey, Donnie, how are you, pal?
How you doing?
All right.
What y'all up to tonight?
And, ladies and gentlemen,
Here we go.
the one and only, the man that you can see from 5 miles away down the road because he's always got something important to say and he's got a big mouth. Ladies, without any further ado, Mr. B.
And gentlemen, good evening, all from happening Hampshire, home of 3 of New Hampshire's governors, of which I can say 1. Now, I have a very special message before we go any further. If you don't mind my doing so, if you'll indulge me, for our service personnel that are getting put near harm's way. Very special quote that I've given to a friend of mine, and I'm going to give out to these folks as well. And a thought of remembrance, George S. Patton Jr. I want you to remember that no bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He's won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country. Keep that in mind. Stay alive and come home to us soon.
That's a General Patton quote right there.
How we doing, boys?
Good.
You know, the enthusiasm on the show right now is just blowing me away. But look, like I said,
Man,
you know,
man.
Trump again in court. Meadow gonna testify against him. You know, Donnie. And also, let me check my notes, ladies and gentlemen, here. Because
What
like
notes?
I said,
Yeah, his team is turning against him. The man's going down for something. They're
and this other female, that lawyer that he has too, Jenny is her name. She pled guilty to a lesser charge or some shit to that effect. Go ahead, sir.
No, that first lady you're talking about, I believe she agreed to testify, and she's going to get like 6 years of probation and something about, because she's probably losing some kind of a lawyer license or whatever. But that's okay. She'll get some kind of, consulting job and whatnot, and she'll get paid just as much. But his team's turning against him. The other part of it, though, too, is the jury in New York with these gag orders. How much more are you going to do to try to silence this man? Because I don't see him spewing any truth or facts about the trial. What I see him spewing is just a bunch of bullshit opinion. Yes, it's uncalled for and it's nasty, but it's his opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But you can't just tell him he can't stop giving his opinion.
Well, again, we're down the same track again. Everybody's all fucking, butthurt because he says something. You know what I mean? It's like, don't worry about that. I mean, look, if you hate him, you're probably cheering the rigged justice system on, and if you're for him or was for him and know that he was, not so bad, you know what I mean? And all of this is just to stop him from running from office again.
Hey, see,
And
the problem is you're looking at it, or you're trying to look at it from the United States of America, and this judge is going at things from the woke states of America. That's the problem. In the woke states of America, you can't have an opinion unless it matches what they have for an opinion.
That is true. That that
That's
that is that is exactly the truth, Mr. B. But for a man to claim his innocence on this Georgia thing, they're falling out like flies. Do you have any reason why, Mr. B?
Yeah, I think they all just want to get it over it, get over it, get on with it, get on with their life, get away from it, go on their lecture circuit, and everybody is happy. Is anyone or any of them at all doing anything at all whatsoever to implicate Donald Trump?
Uh, I yes, the Meadows gentleman. I believe he's trying to reach a plea of immunity
he
with the
already agreed
court
to
down there.
immunity. They already gave him an immunity when he testified in front of that federal grand jury, and he's already dimed out Trump and said, "Hey, I told him weeks before, don't spew that shit. It's not true. It's not true." He's already gonna tell Coke. That's what the thing is. As soon as he's pay, I think the rest of the team, as soon as they can strike a deal with no jail time, because what's good for Hunter is good for the rest of everybody, right? I mean, they're gonna
Show
score
me
some no
something that
jail
backs
time,
it up.
but
Show me
that's what I'm
something
saying.
that backs it up.
There's nothing out there right now. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing that they're saying you're producing false narratives and all this other stuff. You're spewing election fraud and all this other stuff because there's no truth to what he's saying about the elections being rigged. So
Show
it's
me
just a
something
bunch
that
of
backs up that
bullshit.
this guy actually said this to President Trump, that they had any kind of conversation whatsoever other than his say so.
Okay, but the
It's
same say
all
so goes for Hunter.
hearsay.
But but look at all the people. Well, let me give it another term. Look at the key players in this case here. They were very loud and boisterous, saying that the election was rigged and stuff. Now they are silent. Giuliani, you don't even hear Giuliani. You don't even know if he's got a heartbeat right now. Every
No,
time you
because he's
saw
too.
Trump, go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying he's too wrapped up in his own lawsuits, and then him trying to shoot Trump because Trump didn't pay him. It's just a big old bunch of bullshit. But the difference between them and Biden is you can actually have signed documents with these people's signature on it because there's election forms where they signed. So you actually have some paperwork to go fight at. Unlike, with the other part where the current administration, you got 20 LLCs and you got bank statements, but can you actually do anything with that other than, the same hearsay? No. That's what I'm telling you. As soon as the rest of these guys can strike a deal and get out, ladies and gentlemen, whatever, all them others, 19 or so that were indicted, as soon as they can strike some deals where they don't do jail time, they lose some probation, but, they can still do consulting on legal shit. Hey, they're good. They'll go be a consultant somewhere and they won't practice law, and that's be the end of it.
And what about all this horse shit going on with with a lawsuit about him saying he overstated the value of properties to get loans or whatever else? Nowhere, nowhere in American law has
people
a,
do that
a,
every
a
day.
complaint or a lawsuit been brought against anybody when everybody's been paid. Banks got their money back. They got their interest. They made their money.
Everybody,
All the investors got
everybody.
paid or whatever else. Everybody was happy. Show me where there is any kind of victim here, and show me where anything under
There's
these
no
statutes have
victim in
never
none of
been
that.
prosecuted in this manner before.
There's no victim in none of that.
Well,
None.
that's the district attorney in New York, and somewhere along the lines, I remember reading something about he got federal grants or city grants, and he got tax discounts and all this other stuff. So what they're saying is he misled the public and he used taxpayer dollars to do stuff. So they're trying to get him on that now, which is horseshit. But once again, it's just another smear campaign. Because if
I
you
don't know.
notice, there's some of these other places where, like, some of the leases for his big buildings and this, they're like, no, we're not renewing it. We're moving on from you. So
Yes, sir.
that's part of the tactic too. Let's just break him down to where everybody wants nothing to do with him, and they're doing a good job at that.
Oh yeah, without a
If you're going to
doubt. It's
prosecute this,
shameful.
tell me why Black Lives Matter isn't in the frying pan right now.
For what?
For what?
Yes, for what?
Taking all this public money or whatever else, going out and buying individual houses.
Well,
Going on
But that was,
trips.
but weren't those part of her earnings from the 503c as the CEO or some
No,
shit?
they took the money from the 503c and just dumped it into personal houses. I mean,
well, she wasn't stealing money, Mr.
You
B.
don't
She
take
wasn't
money
stealing
from
money.
a,
And like Donald just said, that's her pay.
Yeah, that's
But-
why.
But I challenge anybody who's listening that has the credibility to find this out or whatever. But I challenge anybody to show me what fucking piece of receipt, a little tiny piece of receipt that shows that they bought fucking school supplies or crayons or pencils or books or anything to any community school. Show me anything that they started a lunch program somewhere in any of those communities that they needed to help. Show me, because there's nothing to show.
they show that they actually did something to benefit the greater public.
They what they did is that they capitalized on this white guilt, and they did a pretty good job without even raising too much of a finger by just now I wouldn't say attack corporations, but they moved their way into the human resources of these large corporations. That's where you come up with this type of training. My last corporate company I worked for, we had this black lady talk about uh, the vernaculars of the American, African American, what we should be accustomed to. I was just totally in disgust, totally. But that's what happened. You got these black lesbians went after a real weak part of a corporate system, and they were successful. I think I don't think they sold anything. I think it was just a great con job. You knew what you could attack, and you knew what you could have got. Works perfectly. Now, in hindsight, not in hindsight, but today, I wonder where we're at now with Black Lives Matter in the corporate world.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because they got legislation change. They got policy change at corporations. They got, local policies at state, county level. They got those policies changed to where they're, advantageous for people of color and all this other stuff. That's a bigger gain than any other little bullshit ass. I got $5 million for a house. And look at TV marketing, advertisement. Look at all the sports people, football, NFL, NBA, WNBA. Look at all the attention, the marketing, the advertisement, the money that's been made off promoting, people of color. Of course they did their job and they did it very well. They're not going to scream no more. They don't need to. They're in your face every day on your phone, on the TV, in a commercial, in a show, on a radio, on a podcast. They're in your face every day. You know what I'm saying? So, what more do you see it?
You got a point, brother. You got a point.
That narrative is there. And so, I mean, a mission accomplished.
But
like you always say, Mr. B, they was over there with the right hand swinging around until they come slap you upside the head with the left.
Excellent point.
I'd like to
Excellent
say
point.
hello to Tammy St. Pierre and V45 for joining the show and leaving a comment. How are you ladies doing this evening? Look, guys, um, I mean, I was trying to say it earlier to get back just a little bit in the fact that it's like, look, if I got my house and I'm, okay, yeah, realistically, the house is worth 350. I want 375. I want to try to make some money. I want to maybe have a little wiggle room so I can, again, try to make money. So, do I get in trouble because I overpriced my home, or is the consumer bank, whatever the situation may be, sitting there and going, this house isn't fucking worth that much money. You know what I mean? No, we're not gonna buy it or whatever, right? So I don't understand how they had to do with people getting ripped off in taxes or anything to that nature when it comes to Trump. And they're saying he overpriced his fucking properties. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Blaze, I just told you, because he
I
got tax
Donnie,
exemptions
I
and stuff like
understand that.
that.
That's
That's her
still
thing. That she's you saying that was, those tax exemptions and those property values, and some of these grants and some of the stuff that he was granted to build the stuff
yeah.
was from taxpayer dollars. And they're like,
Okay.
no, that's her claim to fame, is that he misled, auditors and the CAT or whoever, all these people, and it ended up where taxpayer dollars. And so in her mind, she thinks that some magical number of like half a billion came up and say that's what he owes the taxpayers because that was the original values and that's what he should have been paying or some shit. And the thing
Right.
is, she
And I
brought a
told
civil suit, which costs that the amount of proof needed doesn't go as far. That's why that is nothing more than a smear campaign and to try to get money out of his ass so he can't go and raise more money or go on a campaign trail. That's all that lawsuit is. Plain and simple. I don't think you could explain it any other way and justify
right.
it any other way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said on many shows, like all of us said on many shows, it's just a ploy to keep him off the campaign trail. But I got to tell you right now, he needs to show up to the next debate. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Mr. B.
Couple points. I'll tackle your point there, Blazeman, first. You say he needs to show up to the next debate. I think the reason why he's staying away from the debates is as soon as he goes out and opens his mouth and says something in a debate, they're going to try and slap another gag order on because, oh, he said this or he said that or he violated this or he violated that. And blah,
Yeah,
blah,
but I
blah,
don't
blah,
think
blah,
they
blah.
could do that, though.
If anything, what he's doing, he doesn't need to be there. He's so far ahead of the polls. Why take the chance? Why make a risk? Second point. All right, Mr. D, if let's say you have a piece of property you're looking to sell,
Yes,
and
sir.
you bring in some experts who measure this and go around and shoot the bearings for that and assess this and whatever else and figure out that and whatever else, and they come to say, all right, we think your piece of property is worth this. And it's not just one person. Let's say you've got a whole team of people that says, you've got this, you've got that, blah, 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 and they all hand you all different reports for this about your septic system, about your foundation, about how old the building is, what the roof is like, and blah, 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 blah. And they say, all right, fine, I've got all this. And you rely on their expertise to say, okay, I have a piece of property that they say is in total with all the things and the condition that it's in is worth $780,000. Okay, just pick a number, $780,000. So if you go ahead and put it up on the market and advertise it for $780,000, and someone comes along and maybe one or two people get into a little bidding war or whatever else, and the thing winds up vending for 821,000, a little over your asking because they're bidding back and forth. Somebody really wants the property. Now they come to find out there's something that happens that nobody in their right mind or it reasonably could have expected. Some sort of whatever, maybe a sudden drop in market prices, whatever. Are you responsible when you relied upon the expertise of other people to assess and properly tell, and even tax records, the value of what your property is. If somebody
You
says, "Well, I just paid $121,000 for this, and now they're saying it'll only sell for 600,000 because blah blah blah, yada yada, and flippity flappity floop," is the,
no,
is,
it's not my fault. No, and I see the point you're making with Trump, but do when you're dealing with Trump, you're going to have people in a boardroom, and they're going to think of a strategy to evaluate that property, man. Is it Trump that pulled the trigger? Yes, but is he the one that makes the components of the weapon? No, no. He relied on them people, but look who these people are, Mister B. I'm sorry.
what?
They're laws that are going after him now. Michael Cohen, for one. You know, they got screwed by this man, and that's all it is a retaliation. And I didn't want to go at this, uh, go down this lane and stuff. It's just I'm kind of stuck on your question. No, I would not feel guilty of selling the house for 821, and a couple of months later, it was worth 600,000.
Why then should this man be held accountable? Because and the people that made the loans had every reasonable right to sit down and go over the paperwork and assess things themselves. There
And
is a caveat emptor.
yes, and the biggest thing on this case with Mr. Trump, and I heard it the other day right from his mouth, and he's 100% correct. There was banks involved. He never defaulted on a loan payment. And nobody in the banking industry got screwed by his deals. Nobody.
Nobody gets screwed. Where
Well,
is there a reason to prosecute this man?
There isn't none.
Other than just to politically smear and cause problems with the election.
well, how about this? Here's a thought I just had about him. Go to New York, the state of New York, the city of New York, this somewhere in there. Go look at the proposed social spending programs and see if maybe a couple programs add up to that half a billion they want to fine his ass or something. And if some of them numbers, two or three programs match up, or one or two some new social assistance program, basically some handouts, some people handing out money. If any of those programs add up to the amount they're trying to get from him, I would I wouldn't put it past them. That's all they're doing. They're trying to sue his ass to
And
get
we
some
have
money.
the bell this evening goes to Hayseed. Yes,
All
I'm
right.
just
Frank.
saying. There's a thought.
Absolutely. There you go.
Well,
So if
guys,
that's the, I don't know.
go ahead, Donnie.
Nah, if that's the case, then shit. Why don't you just go do donations and shit? You guys talk so much about all these people that want to fucking give. Well, get your ass out there and fucking ask them then. You gonna take a man to court and smear him? I'm sorry. That's just, these are supposed to be the lawyers, the people that make the laws, and that's fucking unethical as fuck to me. You wrong as hell. If that's all you doing to this man.
There you go. There you go. Well,
All right, guys. I got a little video I want to place up
Yes.
here, and then we'll go to the video. Um, sorry. Then we'll go for break, and then we'll discuss. We're gonna open her up with, of course, Israel's war. This little tidbit. Okay, Donald. We will catch you in a few. Okay. Anyways, so I'm going to play this little tidbit. Well, I had now this was sent to me Okay, and then I did research on my own to see if who else was covering this little short video from TikTok, and quite a few outlets were. So it's only natural that we give it a shot, and I want you gentlemen's opinion. Excuse me, Donald, you staying with us?
I said I'd stay through the video, but then I'm rolling.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's play the video.
Y'all, I just watched Tucker Carlson's last interview. And the guy he was interviewing said that our special forces that went in to Gaza to rescue the hostages were...
Now, first and foremost, is anybody aware of that?
I heard little stories of special operators. And
Okay, Mr. B, have you heard anything?
I'm going to vote present on that.
Okay, Donald, have you heard anything?
His special operators were present before the shit even kicked off.
Yeah, I understand that. Right, I understand that. All right.
blown into pieces. And I'm just wondering if that's the same special ops that the White House blown into pieces. And I'm just to rescue the hostages were blown into pieces. And I'm just wondering if that's the same special ops that the White House fucking doxed the other day. Oh my gosh, watch.
To rapidly ship a large force of 80 to 100,000 troops on the ground into the region, which means that we're reliant on special forces and right now 2,000 Marines and perhaps 2,000 special forces and special operations forces. That's not going to make much of a dent, and as we've seen quite recently within the last 24 hours or so, some of our special ops forces and Israeli special ops forces went into Gaza to reconnoiter, to plan for where they might want to go to free hostages and make an impact. And they were shot to pieces and took heavy losses, as I understand it. I think that's where we're headed. And I don't see that as a win for Israel in any way, shape, or form, and I certainly think it's very dangerous for us.
I've always seen our military as strong, and, you know, I'm so worried about our military. Look what happened with the Afghanistan withdrawal. And if y'all watched the congressional hearing on that, then you would know that that could have been prevented because they had the bomber in their sights and they were not allowed to shoot. They were not allowed to take him out. And because of that, 13 service members died. And then you had Biden in the White House the other day dox the special ops team that was supposed to be going into Gaza to rescue the American hostages. They showed their faces for the world to see and then come out and was like, oh, we apologize for any harm it caused. Seriously? And then now this. We need to pray for our troops because they literally can't be strong under a weak leader. And we have a very weak leader.
Okay, gentlemen. That's for us to discuss when we return. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen, for more of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network. We will be back in about 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Holding on to each other. Miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight. stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back. Thanks for sticking around for more of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network, everybody. So, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. So, besides the woman speaking, because I had no idea. I mean, a friend of mine that watches the show and stuff sent it to me earlier today, and I'm like, and I started reading. I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean? Israel and U.S. Special Forces, Green Berets, and Israel Special Forces going in to try to rescue hostages, and were overwhelmed with gunfire and was pushed back. Some. Let's take a little bit more listen so everybody can get everything a little bit clearer, because it's basic news to me as well. So,
But before you get into that, can I say something, please? If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Everything now that's there is nothing more than noise. These hostages, they need to be just written off. Israel just needs to go in and do the job, because they're going to take and string along saying, "Oh, we're going to give you 2 hostages. Oh, we're going to give you another 2 hostages. Oh, we're going to give you another 2 hostages."
And
Every moment that goes on, those sons are digging in.
Right, I understand that.
And they're
I think
fortified.
anybody that has a brain understands that it's a stall tactic. Soon as they released the American hostages, okay, that was it. That's all they had to do, and they're smart about it by doing it, okay, because it slows shit down.
And did you hear the interview from the elderly lady that was released today? What she's been
What
through?
interview was that? I've seen that thing 3
to?
times, and she says, "Oh, I went through hell. They threw me over the side of a motorcycle, and some younger gentleman hit me with a stick." That's all. That was supposedly the hell that she went through. Yes, at her age, I'm sure her ribs when they threw her over the side of the motorcycle. Because she didn't have an answer for when she was asked why, she smiled and shook the hand of one of her captives. And she came back and she said, "Well, they treated us well. They gave us whatever we needed when we needed it." Oh, okay. So where was you going to
window
take
dressing?
this?
These people should just be. If you're going to do the job, rather than letting the rest of the world sit around and start pointing fingers at you, whatever else, do the damn job and get it over with. And by the way, everybody's always pussyfooting about, talking about, oh, Hamas is this and Israel is that, and blah 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 blah. They're not the terrorists. Israel's a terrorist. Fine. I don't know why. If you can show buildings being blown up and blown to smithereens, why they can't take and show the pictures of all the dead bodies, the babies with their heads cut off, the people that were burned alive. Show that, and maybe these idiots that are going in and having all these protests, these college kids will get their heads out of their ass and realize exactly what it is that they should be protesting.
Protests have been going on in this country for Jesus forever, man. Okay, and that's our God-given right as Americans that we can do that. Okay, and it doesn't suck that college professors look. To me, I think the confusion is between knowing who Palestine and Hamas is. Palestine people, for the most part, want to have and live like we do. Okay. And apparently Hamas doesn't. And Iran hates Israel to the point of no return, that they even came out quoted that they would like to wipe them off the face of the earth. So, yeah, that kind of aggression certainly going to jump right in there, you know. And, but for what this Hamas did, yeah, you got to, I believe that they have to be wiped out. Because if you don't take it out, it's only going to come back.
But that, that
D?
that sorry, that's a difficult task to do, man.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, even if they get their top leaders, a new leader will be born. It's called a succession of command, man. The next man stand up. Um, eh, I shit. The Palestinians, yeah, I feel for them, but they're much as fault as Hamas is, man. They should have stopped this, man, long time ago. So that then it makes you think: is Palestine the real neutral people, or are they looking for the from the river to the sea as well? And
And,
everybody knows what that means, from the Dead Sea to the river.
yeah. But these little white little fucking privileged college kids, they don't know what that means, and they're flashing that sign up there like it's no tomorrow.
Yes, and they'll remember this event in 5 years from now when they become a little more radicalized. Maybe had a visit to Gaza and saw a displaced family and just lost it all there, return back and spread that again, even stronger, man. We, you know, CBS did a real good clip about it, what's going on in Israel and Gaza. And the reporter on scene was just like, he was just memorized looking at these 18, 19-year-old kids going into combat, ready to go, full of piss and vinegar. And he says, one of two things are going to happen to these kids. They're going to, one, be successful in a quick uh, battle, but the carnage they will witness, they will never forget for the rest of their mind. And they will take that with their life and their upbringing and all that. There's a lot of hatred there, man, towards Israel. And I know you said it, Blaze, and I know you said it, Mr. B, but Palestine's not the problem. It's that little country, Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Why, I don't know why it's so guarded of not
It's
being touched with. We could
well,
we could destroy them.
we had somebody in the region. Picture if Saddam Hussein wasn't taken out of power. You think we'd be worried about Iran right now?
No.
No, not at all. Because all we do is just say, hey, what's up, bro? Here's
We
some money. Here's a little bit of weapons. Can you keep those Iranians at bay for us?
And that's what we're doing to Ukrainians and the IDF now. We're throwing them a little money and doing the dirty work for us.
Right.
That's it's
Right.
history
Right.
repeating itself, man.
Right. It's exactly what we can't do, obviously. You notice how that region got a little bit more crazier once he was taken out of power?
Saddam, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
Oh, come
and
on, D.
no,
He
hold up
kept
now.
that region in check.
No, no, in Saudi, Iran, Iraq, a little bit of Afghanistan because they had the Kurds up there. But when it came to Israel, Jordan, that area was a ticking time bomb. That area had no control. And let us not forget, 40 years ago of yesterday was the anniversary of the Beirut bombing in Lebanon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that till just now. Thank you for that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. B.
You got a video you wanted us to watch?
Yeah, I'm gonna blast that up right now.
Hey, but before you go to that video, are we going to clear out the other video? And this is all the point I want to make. So,
Well, it's all about the same stuff, D.
okay.
Yeah, it's all about the same stuff.
President Biden set to give a primetime address just 3 hours from now on the wars in Israel and Ukraine, and the stakes could not be higher. Israel's defense minister telling ground troops at the border with Gaza to prepare to invade and that they would soon see Gaza from the inside. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu out on the front lines to rally his troops.
We are going to win full force. The entire people of Israel is standing behind you, and we will give the blow to our enemies, so we get to victory. Victory.
The Middle East continues to be a powder keg. Protests erupting all over as they buy the Hamas lie, blaming Israel for the hospital blast. It's so bad that the State Department is issuing a worldwide caution travel alert for Americans. But don't worry, Joe Biden says he is going to settle all the chaos. The president boasting that his trip to Israel was a big success while making some awkward gaffes about Hamas missiles.
If Hamas confiscates it or doesn't let it get through or just confiscates it, then it's going to end. I came to get something done. I got it done. If I wasn't able to make it into Israel, I got it done.
People all over the region are upset about the hospital and don't necessarily believe you or the Israelis that they didn't have anything to do with it.
I'm not suggesting that Hamas deliberately did it either.
What the
got a lot of shoestring, and it's not the first time Hamas has launched something that didn't function.
Biden is also facing brand new questions over $100 million in humanitarian assistance for Gaza. Senator Rick Scott says you can bet it will all end up in the hands of Hamas terrorists.
You're not helping them. You're not helping them. You're helping Hamas. You're helping the Palestinian Authority. I mean, you're giving money to help Hamas to go kill more babies and destroy more babies and destroy more families. That's exactly what you're doing.
All right, Jesse. Biden says that.
Yes.
That's my hero, Greg Gutfeld. Gutfeld for president 2024. We're rolling with this video, Blaze. Take me there.
Well, one thing's for certain, that other person on the far end of the panel there, that judge lady, she's got a smoking hot pair of legs.
Judge Janine.
Yeah. But anyway, going on about this situation, yeah, giving $100 million over to the people of Gaza isn't going to do anything, because the Hamas people are just going to take it. They're going to use it to feed their troops and bolster their own support and do whatever they can, whenever they can, to strengthen their position. Nothing is going to go to benefit the people that it's originally intended for. It's all nicey, wonderful. Pat yourself on the back and feel wonderful. Oh, we did something great. But you know what? No, you're giving care and comfort to the damned enemy.
Care and comfort. So
where do you think that those supplies are going to go to?
Into the hands of the Hamas. They're not going to put it. They're not going to drop it off into the. Only when there's maybe some news cameras. Oh, well, they're going to put 3 boxes of powdered milk or whatever else over to something else, and everything else is going to go off to their training camps, to their fortified or fixed positions, whatever they can to feed and take care of the Hamas fighters.
You're so right. I want to get back to that real quick, Mr. B, but I just want to read a little post that I got from a buddy of mine. We were together in the Army. His name's Derek Forrester. And he's like, Demas, I think you were wrong. Them other guys on the show seem intelligent. Yes, they do. He's just talking smack, guys. But this is the one he could speak from a little experience. You would have to kill all men, boys of the Gaza Strip. Civilians are protecting the dedicated infidel killers. As far as Saddam, he took care of his country. Can't say that for Biden. That is true.
Well, it is true. And like I said, if he was still in the region, people wouldn't be acting up the way that they're acting up.
Yeah.
But Go ahead.
But the torturing, you think?
Oh,
You
what
think
he did to his own people? Yeah, when he gassed them and stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
they were just a different shade of their religion, and he gassed
Kurds.
them, man.
You're
No,
talking about the Kurds.
no, not the He did the
No, they weren't
Kurds
the
too.
Kurds.
It was the Shiite.
The
No, he's
Shiite.
the Shiites. Yes, because he was a Sunni, and I don't know the difference, but it's just like wow, same religion, different branch, not good enough.
It's like a
Gotta
difference
slam
between
her.
a Catholic and a Protestant.
Exactly, exactly. Yes.
Listen, what's worrying me about this, guys? Right? Let's just. I'm worried about this escalating, and it could very easily.
Biden's praying for it to escalate because then the
No,
economy will be booming.
Biden can't handle it, and he knows he can't handle it. That's why he's doing everything he can for it not to escalate. Okay, we can't. No, it's not good if this escalates.
Oh, I know that.
Okay,
I know that.
Where would it escalate from, guys?
Iran.
No. You're wrong better on that crap table, my friend. You know what's going to escalate from?
I wouldn't know. I'm ready to roll the dice on it. I'll tell you that right now.
Syria.
Why do you say Syria? Syria because they threw a couple
Has
of
anybody
rockets
been
in
looking
there?
at Syria? Where have they been looking? Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Gaza. Where have they been watching all of those?
What would Syria?
What's
would
the right hand
Syria
doing?
gain to get involved?
We're all looking at the left hand.
Okay, that's getting old. Now listen, what is Syria going to gain by starting something?
I cannot tell you or propose a thought of what it is they would think they would be gaining. But unfortunately, they tend to ascribe to those things when someone starts shouting, jihad, jihad, holy war, holy war. What do? They hop on the bus.
Well,
so there's three countries that border Israel and the Gaza Strip: Syria, Jordan, Egypt, and there's another one, Lebanon. Lebanon, I'm very concerned with Lebanon because the Hezbollah tribe, real good terrorist organization.
yeah, backed by Iran.
Yes, sir. Out in the clear, totally known about that.
Oh yes.
My concern would be that right there, that southern border right there. I really feel there's no imminent attack from Jordan or Egypt, and both of them are real good allies with the United States. But that Hezbollah little group that's hanging on the southern border, I'm just concerned that Lebanon gets into the fight. And
Donnie,
that's all I got.
we were talking about worrying about it escalating out there in the Middle East, and who would have the balls to escalate this and why, Donnie?
See, Syria, Hezbollah. If I remember right, reading what they said, Hezbollah comes out of Lebanon. So, that's where they're at. Iran is definitely gonna have the balls to keep doing the proxy thing. So, I don't see this expanding out of, say, Israel or another country wanting to attack Israel. I think this expands because Israel is going to go through and just start laying a ground war and whipping everyone's ass until, into submission, basically, I think. And the other part about this expanding, I don't think it's all going to be from Middle Eastern states. I think half of it is going to be from people getting upset about the U.S. poking their nose in and how they think Israel's a little puppet of the U.S. That's going to stoke a lot of shit. And especially if them special operators were in Gaza and if that becomes fact, now the U.S. has to admit that we were, yeah, that's all. The fuel Iran needs to start messing around. Iran controls, or they back so many different groups. They back groups on the border there with Iraq that they border with. They do people out of Syria, ISIS and that fighting. They got groups down in Yemen that are going after Saudi and some other stuff, American boats. Iran backs so many militant groups, it's not even funny. So I just think when it all boils back to, it'll be a mixture of somebody blaming the U.S. for poking their nose, and I think Iran will have some piece in it.
And what of my suspicion about Syria getting involved?
They're already involved. If they're not openly involved, they're behind doors, involved. I think they're already there.
Hey, just a status check. I don't know. Are there still Russian forces in Syria?
Yes.
So where do they play into this picture?
They're supposed to be helping get rid of ISIS in Syria. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. While Iran feeds them drones to attack Ukraine, to help proxy that little war too. That's why I think I don't look at it as a Middle Eastern war anymore. This is, if you do want to consider it World War III, fine. What else do you need to consider it World War III? Because there's damn near everybody involved, one way or another.
Our people are not willing. Our people are so sick of war this and war that. We've been putting boots on the ground since the 1980s. Every time something turns around, we're taking and sending our people over someplace else, fighting another war on somebody else's soil for some other reason in the name of national security. But it's not making us any more secure. Are we any more secure now than we had been back in 1985?
Probably not. But if you want to stop being, excuse me, you want the U.S. to stop being world police, then we need to get out of, I think it's Geneva Convention Rule number 5. Number 5 says that we have to provide supplies and F2 troops in times of global emergencies and crisis and all this other shit.
Man.
So that's where you need to go. Check or hold, Demas. It's one of them rules.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But it's funny you bring it up. The UN, man, they're nothing but a clown show up there, man. They go over there, try to dictate policy, and they get slapped in the back, and nothing ever happens. I think the UN. Somebody made mention of stop giving them money. Shit,
Trump did.
Israel today called for the fucking resignation of the UN chief.
Yeah, made calls that this was vacuumed. They were vacuumed. The Hamas were vacuumed to Israel. The Israeli ambassador just blew up, called him a fucking idiot in so many ways. It was just like it was powerful, man, very powerful. Hey, Blaze, can you bring up the second one from Derek? Second to the top.
Wait, hold up. What do you mean vacuumed into wherever? What the hell do they mean by that?
I'm gonna look it up, and I'll have Blaze man pump it.
Oh, okay.
Mr. B.
Yes, sir. Do I think that Israel is vacuumed into whatever? No. Israel was sucker punched. And what is Israel going to do? Israel, if we leave them to it, if Fibber McBiden keeps his nose out of it, Israel will be able to do what they need to do. They will launch their attack when they deem it proper and reasonable, without Fibber McBee going ahead saying, "Oh no, don't launch your attack yet. We want to see if we can get some other people out, pay some more money to get 2 more lives out." My ass. Fibber McBee stay in the White House and leave Israel alone to do what they need to do. That's what I believe. Vacuum. I don't want to hear any of this shit. Like I said, it's all noise. It is all noise.
Yes, the
But
UN. The UN. Go ahead, Donnie. I'm sorry, I stepped on you.
you go, Demas. You go, Demas. Go.
No, once again, and I'm going to preach this until the end of the show. The UN has no purpose, none whatsoever. It's just like the World Health Organization. It's a larger organization trying to shed some peace across this world, and they failed. They failed. They have failed.
I think
How many registered countries are there? I mean, we figured that out during 9/11. Was what, 188? And
in the UN.
yes,
And what are they doing with 188 different countries?
countries.
Why are
Yes,
we the lion's share financier?
yeah, we are.
Yeah. So why are we?
because we volunteer to be. That's why. That's plain and simple. We probably volunteer to be. Somewhere in them rules, it's just when the contracts and everything else were fucking written, guess what? Every other country made it good for them.
It's time
U.S.
for
was
us to
like, oh,
put
we're
Velcro on
fine.
the
Fuck us all day.
All right.
Huh?
It's time
I
for us
got
to put
the
Velcro on the pocket.
video set and ready to go, guys. Here we go.
When he started his speech at the Security Council by saying that Hamas attacks did not happen in a vacuum, this is really something that every decent person, it should be unfathomable for each and every one of us. Mr. Secretary General, the UN was established to prevent atrocities, to prevent such atrocities like the barbaric atrocities that Hamas committed. But the UN is failing. The UN is failing, and you, Mr. Secretary General, have lost all morality and impartiality. Because when you say those terrible words that these heinous attacks did not happen in a vacuum, you are tolerating terrorism. And by tolerating terrorism, you are justifying terrorism. Hamas, as the minister explained, beheaded babies, burned families, raped women, abducted kids, babies, Holocaust survivors. And the SG is blaming the victim? You are blaming Israel? This is a pure blood libel. This is a pure blood libel, and I think that the Secretary General must resign. This morning,
Donald.
I agree with him. The United Nations, and I think we've all kind of lost touch on what they're really there for. They were never a peacekeeping or military force. They were only supposed to be for handing out humanitarian aid and all this other shit.
Right.
That's not their mission. So I think we take that out of concept. But I do believe that.
So why is this?
The guy?
Why did they bring this conversation up in the UN if it's not their mission?
I don't know, but for the guy from Israel, the prime minister there, I agree with them. To label these attacks anything other than attacks is just, yeah, you're supporting terrorism, and you're basically condoning the attacks without. That's the message that's sent, to a lot of people, and that's not good. So I think there needs to be maybe some more clarification on UN roles and responsibilities, maybe. And maybe, yeah, the U.S. just pull out of it, and Israel's probably thinking the same thing right now. They're probably thinking, I'm done with this shit. I don't have to play by your rules no more. Fuck you. I would. I'd do the exact same thing. I mean, I don't blame them a bit.
The problem we have here, and I picked it up on the video, it's turning it wasn't new to me when the Secretary General was making blame on Israel. That's the same thing that happens here on the streets of San Francisco, streets of New York. The 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 crime, the actual crime, is the victim. You know, the person.
The criminal.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes,
They
absolutely.
they 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 they're the ones. And they're trying that same shit where it's just, oh man. So,
Dog, what do you?
Blaze, let me read a couple of these from Derek. We got somebody on.
You got somebody on.
Well, Derek, he's
You
been
know.
Okay,
blasting
go
us.
ahead.
What?
Yeah. Let's not forget Saudi. We were talking about Saudi. They are not our friends. 14 of 15 9/11 terrorists were Saudi. Starting to see every Muslim country we finance has stabbed us in the back. Any comments on that, gentlemen?
I would say he's 100% right, but I don't think Saudi's done sticking their blade far enough in yet. I think Saudi's got some more ways to go before they, totally stick us in the back. But most of the other Muslim countries, yeah, they've already cut with us. They want nothing to do with us as a nation.
I would like
Uh,
I would like to add something on Saudi. I think Saudi right now is real good friends with us because I think they want to be on the green team side, not the other team. And the U.S. military is very familiar with the air bases and airstrips there.
Oh, very.
yes, very.
Mr. B.
Frankly, I believe that the Saudis themselves have been screwing us over since the 1970s, back in the time when we had the
Oil
fuel
embargo.
embargoes that were going on, and the lines of for gasoline for cars going down 9 city blocks and so forth. I don't know how many of you remember those things happening. I certainly do. The Saudis have been no real friends of ours. For some odd reason or another, we keep palling around with them and putting our people in harm's way for them. And to thank us for it, they wind up booting us in the ass.
You know,
You know that the Secret Service protects the Saudi embassy in Washington.
Yes, they probably get paid a very, very good fee to do that. So that's why they do it. Let's not make no mistake. It's all about some dollars.
Okay, so
But I think it's more the U.S. as a nation and its leadership throughout the years. They've been more of a giving. Oh, we'll be fine. We take care. And now look, it's to the point where, no, we can't give no more, motherfuckers. We broke. We got to take care of our own a little bit. And all these nations, when they come floating these dollars, especially Saudi, Kuwait, they start floating in billions and millions and billions of dollars for equipment, for, training and all this shit. America ain't turning it down. So Saudi, they probably just want to be on top so that way they can get us to nuke Iran and they don't have to do it.
Guys, did we just run a commercial?
What?
We didn't just run a commercial, did we?
No.
We only did the first one for the night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with more of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network.
I hear the sound, stumbling laughter, holding on to each other. Miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow. We stayed out playing past midnight. But that was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow. Are we getting old? Am I getting over? Gotta catch my breath before we go. We stayed out playing past midnight. But that was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow. We stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow.
All right, and we're back. Thanks for sticking around, everybody, for more of The Way We See It. This is our number 2. So they start releasing hostages, everything slows down. Okay? And what is happening is what we were saying we didn't want to happen in a couple of shows back, where we were saying, look, just let it go, let Israel go in and do, what they need to do and put an end to it, put a stop to it. Stuff like that doesn't work out like that, right, guys? Mr. D?
No, sir. No, sir. President Biden and all the UK too. They're trying to convince Israel of yes, go do what you got to do, take your time, but do a soft blow as possible. You know, and there's no rules when you're dealing with terrorists, man. There's none. There. That's all I have on that, man.
Mr. B?
You're absolutely correct, Mr. D. There is no rule when you're dealing with terrorists. And as far as when the fighting comes, again, you're going to have the noise and whatever else. The problem with what goes on with all these people that are saying, oh, look how terrible it is you're doing these things. Back in the time, before the time of the Vietnam War, we didn't have this almost instant thing where the war was in your home in your lap on the same day or the afternoon every single night. No, I mean you'd see some things in a movie theater in a newsreel or something like that, but you didn't have the constant thing where you turn on your television and you're watching things, watching buildings being blown up in real time or whatever else. No, if all of this stuff went away and the military was allowed to do what they need to do and what needs to be done, war isn't pretty, damn it. It never was, and it's never going to be. Okay? What these people did was beyond disgusting and unconscionable. And what needs to happen in order to eradicate the problem is it needs to be swept out. Not little pick here and pick there and whatever else. There are roaches in the woodwork, gentlemen, and the roaches need to be smoked out, and that's what's happening. As I said before, it's not pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
I'll tell you
And
what.
there needs to be people dead.
What do you
No matter
think?
how it happens, it needs to be done.
I'll tell you what. What do you think China and Russia are up to right now?
Besides laughing their ass off at us?
Well, listen, this is what I'm saying about when I asked the question earlier about escalating. There's a lot going on. Just because the Israel is in our face right now, fucking Ukraine's still going at it with Russia. Okay? We just sent more weapons to Taiwan? Yes, we did. What's China and Russia doing? What's China doing? Who's China back? If Iran acts up, who does China back?
Iran. Oh, Iran. That's an easy answer.
See?
They're getting that.
You understand, Mr. B? It's not good.
They're getting that great value oil brand at a discounted price too. And we're not talking one tanker. We're talking millions of gallons going their way.
Yeah, China's loving Iran right now. They're all talking about doing business.
They need the raw materials. They need the oil. They need whatever, anything and everything they can. So where they can get it from is who they're going to appease and who they're going to suck up to and who they're going to play with.
D, read this one.
Yes, sir. This comes from our viewer, Derek Forrester. As far as making a sandpit of Gaza, I don't know anyone willing to stay and die for something they don't believe in. If men and boys are still there, they are hard radicals. Make ground meat out of them.
So I'm assuming that Derek is for going in to Gaza and
Yes,
making it happen. Now, again, my question was, and I want Donnie to jump in on this, is again, Donnie, what's China up to right now, man?
China's collecting resources so they can do some other BS probably at a later date. Right now, they financially can't afford it. But what they're doing is they're trying to keep some people calm with Iran because they want the oil. They need the oil because their economy is shit right now, and they can't afford to go to war, so they're not going to do that. They're just stacking resources. And if Russia wants to buy weapons that, they need money, that's why they're selling. I mean, they're just looking out for their own well-being, but they're being a business. They're doing it in a business manner. They're not putting feelings into it. They're like, yeah, we don't like your fucking ass, but I like your money because it's just to spend is the same as my money. So give me your money. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
I don't blame them a bit.
That's the money man there. Ching ching.
Yeah, ching ching. Because you're talking about wars in our face, but this is the part of conflict where I was talking about where if you're not willing to go further than the guy that hit you the first time, you shouldn't have got in the fucking fight. Because now you're going to lose. And a lot of Americans, I guess, we got to get a grip on the reality is ain't shit you can do about it. You can watch it and talk about it, but in reality, ain't a damn thing you can do about it. So don't think that your big protests and all this shit are really going to go anywhere. They're not. They're falling on deaf ears.
But do you think these protesters will become violent aggressors?
Oh, there's going to be fights and there's going to be people getting violent because, once again, the struggle of, Israel and the Jewish with the Muslim and the whole religious thing there is, you're not gonna solve that. That's been happening since biblical times, man. You just stop trying to solve it and just try to work and be at peace with it. Because you're not gonna change it if you're an American or you're not from that part of the world and that part of that kind of family. You know what I'm saying?
Can I stop you there for a moment and interject something? It's kind of important.
What's up?
This thing about what happened. You may have heard over the weekend that there was a rabbi that was stabbed to death. I believe it was the Chicago area.
Detroit.
Was she a female?
It was a lady. It has been determined, or they have made a determination that this is not a hate crime. They have people that are persons of interest at this time. They have not said that they have suspects, but they believe they do not believe this to have been a hate crime, which is, from what I was hearing and the indications that I heard, seems to me more that it might be some sort of crime of passion or have something to do with personal or interpersonal relationship of some kind. We will keep posted, but I needed to mention that you had brought up the thing about the things heating up and so forth around here, and I just wanted to make sure that we had that straightened out on the table before we went further.
Yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit on that one. Chicago's a Democratic place, and that just sounds like the same bullshit vibe and lines that the White House administration gives when they've got shit on their plate and their shirt's shit stained because there's just shit coming out their mouth and they're embarrassed. That's what that sounds like to me. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that it wasn't, or that some sort of hate crime violence went through the person's mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I have a hard time with that because I just don't believe a lot of what comes out of the media.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that as well.
Well,
Donnie, throw a chem light up, man. Break a stick.
Yeah, that's why I was looking for one, man. I was trying to figure out some lighting here. It's like shit, man. It got dark on me.
So I got a vid that we're gonna put up and show the audience, and then we'll discuss afterwards. Fears of wider war growing as Israel troops exchange fire with Hezbollah in Lebanon.
What fears?
What's the matter?
I don't see. I already have a question about the label. What fears of the war growing wider? That's gonna happen. Once again, you can't do shit about that.
Well,
it's gonna happen.
It hasn't yet. So what do we do to stop it?
What do you do to stop it? You step the fuck back and let Israel finish what they started. That's what you do.
No. Israel didn't start it.
Yes. No, I'm saying what they started with their little, okay, we've had enough, we're going to whip your ass.
Yeah.
And the air attack and all the stuff they're doing. You want to end this, step back and let Israel finish what they started. Let them finish giving their ass whipping, and then everything will get back into some kind of normality.
They have all these stages laid out, 1, 2, and 3, and the third one is getting us there. And that's what they're struggling. Who's going to regulate Gaza after they kick the Hamas out?
Right. That's what they're talking about. Right.
Yep.
All right. Let's take a listen.
Tonight, Israel ramping up its war from the air, claiming it's killed several senior Hamas figures in strikes across Gaza. But while Israeli troops are massing on the border, they're still awaiting the command to launch an all-out ground invasion. While Israel's president, in an interview on Sky News, making a shocking claim about documents on a dead Hamas terrorist.
We're dealing with ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Hamas. This is what we're dealing with. And in this material, there were instructions how to produce chemical weapons.
And tonight, Hamas using hostages as human bargaining chips in an apparent effort to delay that attack. After releasing an American mother and daughter Friday, the group now says it's ready to free 2 elderly Israelis. We don't know if the offer is sincere.
Acts are what speak, not words, particularly coming from Hamas.
But it's forcing the question, should Israel allow more time for negotiations? Fears growing of a wider war, including in Lebanon, where Israeli troops are exchanging fire with the Iranian-backed militant group Hezbollah. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tonight threatening that if Hezbollah joins the war, he'll order attacks on targets all across Lebanon. And with every passing hour, Gaza sinks deeper into humanitarian disaster. Aid finally started arriving Saturday, with more today, but it's a fraction of what's needed for Gaza's 2 million civilians. The UN warning it has just 3 days of fuel left, and that aid efforts will collapse if more doesn't arrive.
I have been working as an emergency doctor in many aggressions, but I haven't witnessed anything like this before.
In overwhelmed hospitals, surgeons operating by the light of cell phones, and according to the Associated Press, using vinegar as antiseptic. In the Israeli kibbutz of Be'eri, we joined photographer Yarnin Peled on his first visit home since the attacks.
To see the destruction, but firsthand.
Documenting the site where more than 100 civilians were killed, including his older sister and her husband.
It wasn't time for grieving, for mourning or whatever. We just, okay, they're gone. We need to stay focused.
Focused on healing and building once again.
When people ask me about rebuilding this place, I will say, we are Israelis. We're in the business of making life, building them, creating them.
And Raf joins us now. Raf.
I just think it's, it's crazy. You got professors out there. Cambridge, Massachusetts today, they had their massive display of they sprawled out all over the campus like dead bodies, and people took pictures from above and stuff to see what it looked like. And for Palestine, though, and when people hear what I just said, and it's like, because it's for the Palestine people. That's what I think that they're doing. I don't think that look, man, about 80% of these kids are fucking little white kids. You know what I mean? And I don't really think that they understand the full what's the word I'm looking for? The full implication.
Their balls haven't dropped yet.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean,
but that's what colleges are for, though, Blaze, is to have have open discussion, open,
right,
open. But how about a little common sense in this? Fuck.
What did they call them in the 70s? The hippies, man. You know what I mean? All the hippies in the colleges and shit like that. And now, what do we call them today?
Idiots.
It is idiots.
Oh, damn it, Bobby. He's drinking that juice again. Go ahead, Mr. B.
You call them millennials or something like that?
More simpletons, idiots, and morons that are paying, and then they're turning around and expecting us to pay the bill for them. All that they're doing is sitting around and getting themselves indoctrinated, doing whatever they can, doing the yes thing, sitting around bobbing their head, getting a piece of paper and saying, okay, now I can come out into the world and earn money, and they're not even getting a job. Still not seeing the idiocy of what is going on and the idiocy of what they're doing.
Man,
no. You want to talk about vacuums? This guy over here in the UN mentions vacuums. I can't imagine anything more vacuous than college students these days. Because
what's your problem with college students?
Vacuous idiots walking around with absolutely no sense in their head.
Well, why do they need sense in their head?
Every stupid thing that's being put in front of them.
I'm going to pay for their college. They need to do a decent job.
Well, fuck yeah, I'd like them to pay for, do a decent job too. I know taxpayers are paying for this shit.
Well,
but
come on, guys.
You get mad at the fucking student. How about you get mad at the administration that built the fucking system that created the fucking student? Fuck that shit. Why
Well,
God dang, man, it's the administration. They're the motherfuckers getting rich.
That's it.
But this is at an international level, Donnie. This is not the good old United States of America. This is across the pond. And thank God we live across the pond because all that is a big ass moat so our enemies
Yeah,
can't
but
come
it's
at us. Go ahead,
exactly,
Donnie.
but it's the same fucking concept when it comes to who's skimming the money and who's really the fucking part of the bigger part of the problem.
I'll tell
It's not the fucking peon student, it's the fucking system itself.
I agree partially on that
It's
simple fact.
created to put you
It's
in debt and
national
put you on a
national. No, this issue with support for Palestine, or is it Hamas? The issue I have is that this is an international incident. This is not a national incident. George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ. This is another incident. But getting back to this incident here, the BLM, George Floyd, and all the other good stuff, the administration supported that. That was national. But now them taking it to an international, not having it. Nope, just ain't having it. I would say that they should be charged for treason. This is where the FBI should be going out and looking at these students. I bet you get a hit or two more than on a
wait.
Catholic protester.
So you're pissed off because there's people protesting and they're saying, what about the innocent people in the Gaza Strip that are, innocent victims of this bullshit? Because that's what they're mainly protesting about. And they're saying that, they want to argue about who started the fight, pointing fingers at each other. But how's that going to be fucking treason when...
Wait a minute. Let's go back. Why didn't they protest on the night of October 7th about
Because
the
fucking
killing
Raheem or somebody...
of the killings of? No, go ahead about with Raheem. I want to know what Raheem said.
I don't know. I don't know why they didn't protest that night. Maybe Raheem was in town, and Raheem's a really fucking important dude in the system. I don't know.
Hey, got it.
You know what I'm saying? Don't reach your fucking... Come on, low-hanging fruit.
Got a quick story. I heard it today on the 5. Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan, he bounces back from the UK and United States, and he's on a Fox News network, the same as that he does here in the States. And he says the night of October 7th, he remembered fucking walking down the street, and there was Palestine protesters at the Israel embassy right after the battle. Within hours, 4 hours, he said, there was protesters. Palestinian protesters in front of the Israel embassy in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Yep.
If for some particular reason anybody here believes that these things aren't orchestrated, please, by all means, let me know.
No, yes, they are orchestrated, but a lot of the acts go unseen or unspoken of. Just like this young lady, I'm over there, I'm looking at the young lady in the video. Okay, she's got a wedding ring, she works, she has a little thing about her hair, a little pet peeve of hers. But the way she said it about the special forces, and then with Joe Biden, the doxing, him taking pictures with operators, makes you think, is this shit real?
Why would you think it wasn't, Demas? Honestly, really, I don't. I'm sorry. That's where I would hope that through these investigations, if they can bring some treason charges on fucking Joe Biden and find the way a money trail of how he sold us out, I'm all for that. Because I tell you, that's about what I think's happening.
Do you think them operators got iced like that in Gaza? She says pieces. They got blown up to pieces.
I think if I don't think we're ever going to really know the truth on it. And here's why. I don't think we're ever going to know the truth because if we know the truth, that we find proof that it came out and it's true, then the U.S. has to go, and Joe Biden, and if it's under his administration, they have to answer to why there were already operators in You were supporting Israel with special. That's nothing. That's just a justification Iran would love to have to say, "Oh, you're attacking us," or to support more. That just stokes the fire even more, and the Middle East is just going to be uncontrollable for the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Gee, they're not going to let that go, man. We're never going to know.
Mr. B?
I'm of the opinion that a number of times when we hear that, oh well, there was these people that were killed today because they had they were on a training mission and a helicopter crashed or whatever else. Anytime they come out with notifications of that or whatever else, it's got to be bullshit. If anything, they're covering over for why this person actually is dead. But we'll never know. And do we need to know? No.
No.
No, we don't.
No, we don't need to know. However, when our president or when other people are sitting around saying, "Oh yes, well we have this SEAL team over here, and they're going to be going to go in and do this over here at this particular time, whatever else." If you're not going, go ahead. Loose lips sink ships. Nobody remembers these things. What the hell is the matter with these freaking idiots? I mean, how incredibly stupid do you have to be? How magnificently stupid do you have to be? And publishing one of the photographs of these people. Oh yes, I met all of
Boys
you.
and girls, we have a little bit of breaking. We got Trump live right now. Let's take a listen.
Things, whether regarding the horrible Afghanistan disaster, Ukraine, our completely open southern border. I mean, who would want to have an open border? Or now the attack on Israel, he's been a disaster, but these things never would have happened during the Trump administration. Our once great country is in a giant mess. And you just have to take a look at Europe to see what happens if we don't win. Europe is not exactly doing great, because when we do badly, they do badly. We are, in theory, the leader of the world, and we're leading so badly, and they don't care, and they don't respect us anymore. They respected me when France wanted to put taxes on our businesses. I said, you can't do it. And you know the story. I said, you can't do it. There's no taxes on our businesses. Why are you doing that? He said, Macron, nice guy. Look, he's for France. I'm for us. I'm for us. You know how you spell us, right?
Yeah, he is. And I'm laughing.
You spell us, U.S. I just picked that up. Has anyone ever thought of that? I just picked that up a couple of days. I'm reading, and it said us. And I said, if you think about it, us equals U.S. Isn't that? Now, if we say something genius, they'll never say it. We get 25, 30, 40, 50, 80,000, 100,000 people to speeches. They've never said Trump's a great speaker. Never said. I've never heard it. I said to my people, do you think they'll ever acknowledge I must be doing okay?
Speaker,
except I'm a very handsome person, so I guess a lot of you want to sit. They want to sit and look at me because I'm saying, like a beauty pageant. No,
Do we really need to listen to this guy stroke himself? I mean, come on.
The other day we had,
what the hell is this
in
about?
Iowa, we had thousands and thousands. You couldn't get them into this big, big room. And Ron DeSanctimonious had like 22 people. And they said, they both spoke. It's like, it's incredible. But in Brussels this month, a radical Islamic terrorist migrant viciously shot and murdered 2 Swedish soccer fans and gravely wounded a third person on the way to a sporting event. He did it for fun. Didn't know him, did it for fun. In France, a school teacher and father of 3 was savagely butchered in a schoolyard. His throat was slit by an assassin shouting, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. And in London, Berlin, and Amsterdam, mobs of pro-Hamas terrorist sympathizers cheered in the streets for the torture and murder of children. They were cheering for the murder of children. And we have them in this country. I mean, I hate to say it. We have that crazy Tlaib. We have Tlaib. Is she crazy? She's crazy. But you have AOC plus 3. I call them AOC plus 3. You have AOC plus 3. And they've changed, and I will say this, they've changed the narrative to a large extent when you see some of these rallies that are.
Okay, we can come back to him there. I don't know. Yeah, listen, when the ex-president that comes on live, you put him on. You know what I mean?
Nah.
I mean, listen.
He's
I
just-
mean, we would have been going anywhere if somebody started lighting the fucking torches and the riot broke out. You know what I mean?
Mr. B won't let that happen. Go ahead, Mr. B.
I'm thankful to you for showing the proper amount of respect that the man deserved. You gave him time. You showed it. Thank you very much. He's here in my state this evening, speaking, and how do you follow an act like that?
Well, that's where he is right now. This is
Yes.
where this live is from.
He's in New Hampshire. Yes,
Okay, where? It doesn't say over here.
I believe he's in Derry, or he was
Derry.
in Derry.
Exactly. He's in Derry. Well, he was in Derry yesterday.
He don't sleep in New Hampshire. He goes back to Florida and comes back up.
So, all right, we got to take a last break of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around for more of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network. We'll be back in about 3.5.
I hear the sound, stumbling laughter, holding on to each other. Miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to The Way We See It right here. It's Tuesday night, 8:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10/24/2023, right here with The Way You See It with my boys, Mr. D, Mr. Donnie, Mr. B, and of course myself, Blaze Man. I mean, look, everything, the good thing is that everything's slowed down a little bit, okay? And now you know that the U.S. is very, very engaged with what's going on. And do we still agree on just letting Israel take care of it and mind our business, or do we continue to try to get these hostages released? Mr. B, you go first, please.
No, we do not string things along and try to get hostages released because all it's going to do is just prolong things. Sharp knife
Okay.
cuts the quickest, boys. That's what needs to happen. Just let it
Okay.
happen and get it done.
All right, so you make that decision. Okay, your boys go in, your military goes in, and as your military's going in, they're lining up the hostages and they're just mowing them down.
There's
Are
nothing
you
to do.
prepared to make a decision like that,
Absolutely.
Mr.
One
D?
thing about me you have to know. You have to know, as I was raised, you get into a fight, you have to be the world's biggest little son of a bitch. And you have to fight dirty. Because the world is dirty. And you have to do anything and everything you can to win, or you're going to lose. So yeah, I can make that decision. Is it going to suck for some people?
You're
Yeah,
scaring me a little bit, Mr. B.
but it needs to be done.
You're scaring me a little bit. Miss
So,
D?
all right, Israel. Let me paint the battle picture for you. And this is very unique, especially being an ex-American soldier. That tank right there is called the Namer. That competed against an AMP V that my old company made. That's a tank. That's an armored personnel carrier. That's it, and it's got a 50 cal as a main. But these kids on the front lines, and reporters have witnessed this as well, that they're going home to their moms, their dads, to get that meal, to see that uncle, and then return back to their battle position. That's a hell of a psyche to be in, you know. And I gotta give a little favor to Israel on the campaign battle. You know, the big dial. You know who's favored more and more, but uh, I think I think they're gonna go win when it's least expected, and that could be at the day 40th. And yes,
Yeah.
that holds a religious meeting 40, especially there. And I hope to God, and I really mean this with all, to copy you, Mr. B, with every fiber in my body, that Israel doesn't have to revert to the nuclear bomb, because they do have them.
Whoa. Come on. With nuclear? Talking nuclear here?
They have small nuclear capabilities. Yes, they do.
Blaze.
Yeah, I know Israel does. So does Palestine.
So
I mean,
No,
Pakistan. Sorry, not
yes.
Palestine. Pakistan.
We give them presidents. They calm down. They don't give nothing but just maintain
Exist.
a nuclear arsenal.
Yeah, they
controlled
exist.
by a bunch of fucking radical Muslims.
Right. Right.
I'm sorry.
It is. It's fucking crazy.
But go ahead, Donnie. I lost my
No,
thought.
I'm of the favor of. I'm going to step back and I'm going to let Israel do whatever they need to do because I'm one of the mindset that you've been poking around in the Middle East for centuries, not decades, and you've gotten nowhere. But people hating you, so just get the hell out, man. cut ties and start looking to take care of your neighbors north and south a little more or something, you know? Because, yeah, we got two big old oceans as barriers between us. So remember
Donnie,
that.
yes.
All right, Mr. B, you got
I
this
call
one
that
right
the
here.
great moat.
You want me to read this?
Yes, sir.
Muslims are depending on America to back down. Afghanistan is a great example. Time for America to help put a major dent in radical Muslims as far as hostages. It's collateral damage. A lot more will be killed if we don't. Bingo! There you go.
All right. Well, we got Derek's answer. Derek's go in and the hostages is collateral damage. I mean, what is it? 33 Americans already dead there.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I don't think it doesn't matter. Americans and American, but some of them are dual citizens. You know.
Yeah, and you
But,
can't
but,
cut.
but hold on. Oh, whoa. Let's
Can't cut
stop for a
somebody
minute,
in
please.
half. That's a mighty fine piece of machinery. That is the M109 Alpha 6.
Okay, yes, Demas. But let's put some perspective on Americans abroad. Let's remember that when you go abroad and you live abroad, you fall to those risks. You make those choices. So to sit here, yes, it sucks to have to go through that. Can't imagine what those people are going through. I'm not even going to try to say, oh, I can, no. But you make those choices openly. So at some point, maybe you got to understand that that's part of you living there. I can't save everybody.
Hey, but Donnie, on that note, there's rumblings coming out of the State Department that they plan on putting to effect 100,000 Americans on a NEO, a non-combat evacuation operation. It was asked today at the Pentagon briefing, and
Yeah.
he just sung around it and stuff. But they are going to go out there and get them.
He did. He did. He went around the question. I watched some of that today. So.
Oh, no, yeah. Go out there and get the Americans, but we don't want to go over there and use force, military force. If you could do it without military force, hell yeah.
We just sent another
just
carrier group. Now we ain't just send carriers. We got two carrier groups out there, and we're sending another one. So there's going to be 3 carrier groups.
Radical Islamic terrorists.
Yes.
Anybody remember that there was a guy somewhere in American history in the latter part of the 20th century? Carter something? They tried something like this?
Who?
What, you talking about Jimmy Carter with Iran back in the day?
No.
Oh, yeah, they sent a group in. It didn't go right. Blah 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 blah. Yes, we've always been dealing with terrorists. It's just they're out open in your face now. The rest of the world gets to see them. That's why everybody, you guys, sometimes the news and media, they act so shocked. It's like, no, that's just been happening for decades, man. That's the way of life over there sometimes. That's just, don't be shocked. This is war. You wanted to know. Well, shit, now you know.
Hey, so I was really, I've never heard of this or seen it, but I can envision it. General McKenzie, he's out of the military. And he's doing a lot of talking on the circuit.
D, we're losing you.
In the Qatar.
There you go.
In Qatar and throughout Saudi and all, and they got them all networked in, and that CENTCOM commander can see his skies right there in front of him. Unbelievable, yes. Donnie. Oh yes, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes. I know they can see a lot of things.
The network integration. No, there's no point in it. I was just fascinated by the technology. You know, breathing and smelling that Patriot when it rides by you and shit, and you get a little, wow, that could do that. That could do that. That's all. That's where that came from.
Okay.
Bro,
we were just discussing the stupidity of trying to get 100,000 unarmed people to go and rescue hostages.
They will be hostages if they don't go get them.
No shit.
Yeah. So once again, are we just, we don't learn from our mistakes, but you keep wondering why, people that come from the Middle Eastern part of the world don't want us there. Go, because there we are poking our nose into something that we shouldn't be poking our nose into. And no, it's just, I don't know. Sometimes you got to understand that you're not going to be wanted everywhere. Not everybody's going to like you. But you can still act professionally and do business together. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Hey, so I think the line of attack would be on the column formation with the heavy up front. They got bulldozers, D9s. No, the army, the regular army here on our side, we got them too. But these fucking things, it's got a 50 cal mount and all, dude.
I know.
Really?
Bulldozers.
Yes. That's some of the up armored shit I saw when I was in Iraq. That in the Middle
they
East
are
when I
right
was
there.
in.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
But
it's probably got daggone buffalo with scrapers that got up armored and all this other shit. And
I don't think if they go in a column formation, heavy forward tanks and APCs, the only people are going to get killed is the ones that stick their head out, building or out from the tank.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't those bulldozers supposed to be used to be pushing away collapsed buildings out of the road?
Yes.
So
Yes.
No, they're used for whatever the hell they can get used for.
And snipe at the bulldozer operator. Don't you think maybe?
No, it's got bulletproof glass and it's got fucking RPG rack. Oh no, they thought of that already, dude.
Yeah, they got that covered.
Yeah.
And that bulldozer's going to get used for whatever the hell it wants to get used for at that particular moment.
It's called the little teddy bear.
Yeah.
That's cool. So
let's all come to agreement here and keep beating around the bush. Or we keep talking about it and you go from every angle. Unless we're willing as a nation to accept that, to get rid of ISIS and get rid of these terrorists, you have to go and completely wipe out the snake, go into the den, and you gotta just cut off the entire cell. If you're not willing to go that far, then you're never gonna win, and it's just gonna keep cycling itself through the same, rotation. It just comes from a different angle, and then the one group with the name of the groups will change, but it's still going to be the same fight. And the U.S. is always going to have their little fingers in.
Thanks for that, Donnie. Ladies and
What are we
gentlemen,
going to do to scrub the grubby little sons of bitches out of our country?
What?
That'd be next week's show.
Next week's show.
Deportation.
Yeah.
Deportation. All right.
Part. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Way We See It. Catch us next Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. right here on the FFN Network. Don't forget tomorrow for the Miss Tammy and Blaze Man show, followed by the Politicking with Mr. B. Catch you all tomorrow from 7 to 8 and Mr. B Politicking 8 to 9 p.m. right here on the FFN Network. Peace and love to each and every one of you out there. Mr. D.
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks, Donnie, Mr. B, Blaze Man. Have a good night.
Mr. Donald.
I just thanks for everyone connecting. We'll see y'all next week. Think positive, do positive.
Mr. B.
For me and Agnes, the Angry Chicken Muggy, has been an honor and pleasure. Wow, I can't. I'm not even drinking any booze. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you,